Hi everyone, I'm Marcy. I've been wanting to share this recipe for a while now, and today is finally the day. I'm making Quesabirria Tacos. If you don't know what they are, it's a style of taco that's really famous on Instagram. It's made with slow-cooked meat, and the shell is actually red because you fry the tortilla in chili-infused oil. In fact, some people call them red tacos. Anyway, they are so good, and I really think you're going to love them. First of all, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to this channel, and let's get cooking. So I'm going to start with the birria, which is the meat, and there's many different ways to make this. This is just how I make mine, and not to brag, but I think it's really good. I'm going to be starting with a 4-pound chuck roast. I've got 8 New Mexico red chili pods and 2 pasilla ancho chili pods. Now they've already been cleaned out. I removed the stems, the seeds, and the veins. You'll also need half an onion, 2 to 3 garlic cloves, 1 tablespoon oregano, 1 tablespoon cumin, about 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, plus you're gonna need more to season the meat with, half a teaspoon thyme, 1 stick of cinnamon, and 2 bay leaves. And then later we're going to be adding some chicken broth to our consomé, which is what we dip the tacos in. And then when we're ready to make our tacos, we'll need some corn tortillas, the cheese of your choice, and then I've got some freshly chopped cilantro and onion here. Now I'm going to be cooking my meat in a slow cooker. I just find that it's most tender that way, but you can also cook it on your stovetop. But let's go ahead and get started. The meat has already been rinsed clean and patted dry, so I'm first going to cut it into smaller, more manageable pieces. I'll remove some of the fat as I go, and then generously season the pieces on all sides with salt. Next, I heat a large skillet with some olive oil in it. Then I put the meat in and sear it on all sides so that it forms a brown crust. This is going to help lock in the juices. When you've got them all seared, place them into the crock pot set to low. Now I'll put just a little more oil into the same skillet and put in the chili pods along with the onion and the garlic. I'm going to let them brown for just a bit. As soon as I start to see char marks, I add some water. And this is probably a little more than a cup, but you really don't need to measure. Just put enough so that the chili can soak in it for a bit and start to soften. Also, you'll want to turn off the burner at this point and just let them sit for a few minutes. If there's anything stuck to the bottom of the pan, use a wooden spoon to scrape it up because we don't want any flavor going to waste. Next, we transfer all these ingredients into a blender or food processor, including the water. And I can already tell I need to add a little more water. It doesn't need to be completely covered, but close to it. I'll also add the oregano, the cumin, the thyme, and the salt, and I'm going to blend until it forms a smooth sauce. Now we can pour this chili over the meat in the crock pot. This already smells so good. Place the cinnamon stick and the bay leaves on top. Cover and let cook on low for 6 hours. Well, it's been 6 hours and this birria smells amazing. Take a look at this. It is definitely fork tender. I just barely have to touch it and it starts to fall apart. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the cinnamon stick and the 2 bay leaves, and then I'm going to take the meat out and shred it into smaller pieces with a couple of forks. Now, as you shred, be sure to put some of this sauce in here so that the meat stays nice and moist. And then you see this oil that sort of forms at the top. That's where we're going to dip our tortillas in, and we're going to use that oil. So that's a really great thing about this recipe. Nothing goes to waste. For the consommé, I'll scoop out some more of the sauce and put it into a saucepan. I then add chicken broth, and I don't really measure, it just depends on how much you want to make, but you definitely want more chicken broth than the chili sauce, probably about a 3-to-1 ratio. Let it cook for a bit, then add some chopped cilantro and onion. Cover with the lid and set it aside because we'll be using this to dip our tacos in. Speaking of which, we can now make those tacos. I've got a griddle ready to go on the stovetop. I'm going to dip the corn tortilla into the chili oil and then place it onto the hot griddle. Immediately take your shredded cheese and layer it all across the tortilla. I'm using Monterey cheese, but you can use the cheese of your choice. Take some of the shredded meat and lay it along one side. Flip the other side of the tortilla over the meat, let it cook for just a bit, then flip it over and let it cook on the other side. If you want, you can add a little more chili oil as you see fit. And when the cheese is all melted, you've got a delicious looking quesabirria taco. I'll make just one more for now so I can show you the finished product. These quesabirria tacos are ready to eat, and you really have to see them up close to appreciate them because they just look so good. And of course, on the inside, you've got all this wonderful melted cheese and the juiciest, most flavorful meat. And then as if that's not enough, you take your taco and you dip it in the consommé, and it is just heaven on earth. Ooh, look at that. It's a little messy, but it is so, so good. All I can say is keep the skillet hot because you're gonna wanna make a few more of these, and I hope you try it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, help me out by giving it a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe and leave a comment. Your interaction helps others know this channel exists. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.